Hi, I'm Ben. Welcome to my book corner. Today we have a tag video. It has been a while. I have been putting off making things in general, and this has caused me to have a bit of an overflow of potential tag videos. And whilst it is not at the Himalayan level of, say, my choice of books for the Read What You Own challenge, which I'm now in, it's hitting the Alps right now. Let's put it that way. So, why not start with one that kind of fits the vibe? I'll get around to its later book tag. This was originally a blog over at Quote Unquote. I will link that down below. And I most recently saw this on the phenomenal Kevin Towell's channel. I will link his channel down below, his video up above. Go give him a check out. Awesome creator here on YouTube. And this is basically a tag about books you haven't read yet. 8 tags. This might trigger some people because there's going to be some big hitters on here, which, you know, much like with films, Lion King, and video games, Resident Evil, that I've never played, there's some that everybody seems to read, and I just sit there going, yeah. Let's start with number 1, a classic book that you've been meaning to read forever, but haven't read yet. I have classic lit trauma from school. All right, so I don't vibe well with classic lit. However, Dracula, Frankenstein, both books I really do need to read. I've just never got round to. I have them both on my Kindle. I keep saying I'm going to read them. I keep not reading them. I will eventually sort this out. Number 2. A book on your shelf you haven't read yet. Now, we could just throw darts for this. And realistically, there's a 75% chance every time that I'll hit a book that I have not read yet. But I'm going to go for one that everyone seems to be surprised that I haven't read, considering I like this sort of book. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. And I just want to say, what is this? Why? Like, why? Why book publishers? In the words of a famous YouTube commentator, specifically on video games,
if you know it's bad, why are you doing it?
But anyway, yeah, I've not seen the films either. There we go, that's something else to upset people. I mean, I like dystopias. I like YA, generally speaking. I've been told by everybody that this is amazing. I will read it. It is one I want to get in by the end of the year because it's on my banned book challenge. So there we go. Number 3, a book you recently got that you haven't read yet. If you've seen my haul video, you'll know we're a little bit spoilt for choice on this one. So I'm going to go for the one I'm actually kind of most excited about. And that is Old Wounds by Logan Ashley Kisner. So this is a YA horror, and it follows 2 trans kids trying to get to California when they get trapped in some woods and people are hunting them, and there's a monster. I mean, the cover art, I actually really like the cover on that. I like the premise of this. Definitely going to read it pretty soon, though. Number 4, a book you've had forever but haven't read yet. There's a few options for this. However, many years ago, decades in fact at this point, I read a book called Geomancer by Ian Irvin. And it was pretty good. It's a brick. You could build houses out of it. But it was pretty good, but I've just never gotten around to reading the follow-ups. But it's also a spin-off, or at least related to another series. And this is book 1 in that other series, A Shadow on the Glass. Now, I've had this book. This is 2001? Yeah, oh, it's got folded pages. That wasn't me. Right, well, that wasn't me anyway. But yeah, I've had that book for 25 years. That is ridiculous. So there we go. Number 5, a book recommendation No, a book a friend recommended that you haven't read yet. There's a few. Just because I want to show off the cover. My good friend Elaine over at Cobalt Dragon has recommended this. Now, they have all of this in one book, whereas the version I've got is individual books, and it is Blackwater by Michael McDowell. Now, today, at the time of recording, I've actually just received books 2 through 5, which I just want to show them off on camera, to be honest, because I think these are absolutely stunning. Which one's book? Right. So there we go. So that's book 2. Book 3, The House. Book 4, The War. Oops. Let's actually show it on the camera. And book 5, The Fortune. Now, I believe there is another book still to come out. It's not been released, or re-released, I should say, yet. But I'll be getting it just because they're so pretty. I am planning to be doing that as a buddy read with both Elaine and as well Noah over at the Bookworm as well at some point in the near future. Number 6, a book you're procrastinating on. Oh, there's so many. I'm not blown away so far by what I've read of Sarah J. Maas, but I'm determined to give her books a fair shake. We've read Throne of Glass 1, books 1 and 2, I should say. We've read Akatar, not continuing with that series. But I do have Assassin's Blade. I picked this up pretty cheap, which is why I've got it. Believe this is a prequel to Throne of Glass and a series of short stories. So I'm hoping this actually makes Selena into an actual character rather than a walking plot device that she seems to be half of the time. But I just keep looking at it and going, nah, not today. So there we go. Number 7, the next book on your TBR. This isn't a physical book. This is actually an arc which I got courtesy of Book Sirens, and it's our comeback tour is Slaying Monsters by Kim Sumuga Otto, and it's book 1 in the Boy Bands and Dragons series. It's only just come out. If you've been around the channel for any length of time, you'll know that I'm a massive D&D fan. And this is my first attempt at reading a literary RPG as well. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Finally, number 8. Tag some people. Decided to have a quick nosy to see who's done this before I start tagging people. So, I'm going to tag 5 people. Amazing Kada over at Resistance Book Club. I would love to know your answers on that one. Jaleesa over at Reading This Life, despite the fact you're reading 126 books at the moment or something absurd. You as well. Noah over at The Bookworm. Elaine over at Cobalt Dragon. And also my good friend Elmacy as well. I would love to know your answers to this tag. But that's it. That is the I'll get to it later tag. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below what book that you haven't read yet that you're most looking forward to. I'll catch you all very soon.